they did during the entirety of the Thunderdome and Performance Center eras. WWE brought back John Cena. They brought back Bill Goldberg. Both appeared to be getting title shots at SummerSlam, but WWE introduced a wrinkle. Roman Reigns denied John Cena's challenge, and Finn Balor swooped in to take the SummerSlam main event. I'm Ryan Joy, and I run MinutesToBellTime.com, a website and database tracking pro wrestling from around the world. On today's show, we're talking about Finn Balor. Is he actually getting the SummerSlam main event? Is John Cena truly out? We also have headlines from the weekend. Karl is in the house, and this is the Daily Wrestling News Show for July 26, 2021, where we sort through all the bullshit in wrestling news to find you the truth. All right, Karl, welcome to the show. Let me change this once again here. Okay, we're back in position. Correct.
There we go. It's I don't mind being Ryan Joy for a little bit. It's all right. It's all right. You know what the good life is like.
Second week in a row, we've had that little faux pas at the beginning. But Al, welcome to the show.
Yeah, happy to be back. Happy Monday, everybody. A little bit of a somber Monday for me, unfortunately. For those, I don't want to release any spoilers, but for those who watched the Masters of the Universe Revelation that came out Friday at Netflix, it didn't work out so well for our beloved Master of the Universe, He-Man. So just a little somber at the moment. But hey, Kevin Smith was writing it. He's a Jersey guy. What he says goes. So I'm all in on it.
By the power of Grayskull, we must move forward.
That's it. That's what He-Man would have wanted. So
there we go. So on Friday's SmackDown, John Cena explained that Roman can't see him, and that after SummerSlam, Roman will realize that the champ is here. Paul Heyman let John know that Roman will answer sometime later in the night on SmackDown, but it'll be when Roman feels like it. Paul proceeded to dance off the stage while singing John Cena's theme music. And we've listened and watched that about 13 times since Friday. So Roman Reigns did answer later in the day. He said, same old John Cena, same rhymes, challenge denied. The unexpected then happened. Finn Balor walks out and says, if you're not interested in John Cena's challenge, maybe you're interested in mine. Roman Reigns accepts. What's going on?
Yeah, first things first, I don't know how all this video stuff, if somebody can put Paul Heyman doing John Cena's theme to Sami Zayn dancing over Kevin Owens from a couple of weeks ago, that would be absolutely one of the most amazing things ever. So somebody please do that. I am not technically sound enough to do that. But yeah, so we have Finn Balor coming out, stepping up to the plate. I did some research for this. I know these two have crossed paths, and it's been a very long time. So way back 2016, it was a Raw episode, July 25th, a year ago, or 4 years ago, 5 years ago yesterday, right? Because today's the 26th.
That's right. Yeah.
Finn Balor made his main roster, or his Raw debut. Okay, so what they were doing is, this was right after the draft, the brand draft extension. The Universal title was created that night. And they had a small tournament where the winner fights Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. Because Seth was the golden child. He was automatically inserted into the match. Not to mention he didn't get pinned at Battleground, so Stephanie didn't punish him for that. So they had two fatal four-ways. The first one was won by Finn Balor. He defeated Cesaro, Kevin Owens, and Rusev. The second fatal four-way was won by Roman Reigns, who defeated Sami Zayn, Chris Jericho, and Sheamus. So you had the main event of Finn Balor versus Roman Reigns, where the winner gets Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. And we all know what happened. Finn Balor, he beat Roman Reigns. It was clean. It was the drop kick in the corner, followed by the coup de grace. Done and done. Finn Balor shocks the world on his first night of matches on Raw. So that's match one. Match two was 2 years later, August 20th, 2018. Roman Reigns just won the Universal Championship for the first time. So now going back, Finn Balor defeated Seth Rollins at SummerSlam, was injured during the match. We all know that. He vacated the title the next night. Finn never received a rematch when he came back from injury. He never got it from Kevin Owens. He never got it from Goldberg. He never got it from Brock Lesnar. Until, he got a match later with Lesnar, but it was before that. But so Roman Reigns, first thing he does as champion, he grants Finn Balor his rematch. So we have Reigns Balor 2. So that match actually ended. Balor missed the coup de grace, ran into a spear. So Roman had defended the title. Then there was a whole Shield smosh because Braun Strowman came down with the Money in the Bank. That's how long ago that was. And there was a whole schmoz between the Shield and Braun to make sure he didn't cash in on Roman. But yeah, so they're 1-1 each. Pretty straight up clean wins so far. But I guess this begs the question, Ryan. I'll let you do some talking here. Exactly, is this going to happen at SummerSlam? Or is this just a little tease just to prove that Roman's still scared of Cena, even though Roman beat him last time? What do we do?
I mean, John Cena has to be in the SummerSlam main event. Right, John Cena's come back, all this fanfare. He's been announced for like 20 dates between now and August 21. He's going to be in the main event. He's going to be facing Roman Reigns. The question is, what will Finn Balor be doing? Will Finn Balor be playing the role of Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania? Or will there be a John Cena versus Finn Balor match sometime in the next 3 weeks to officially get one of them in? That might be interesting. I know John Cena is wrestling on the house show circus, so he's got to do some matches before we get to WrestleMania or SummerSlam, definitely before WrestleMania. So I think we got John Cena versus Roman at SummerSlam. The question is, will Finn Balor also be in the ring? And how many times can Finn Balor say, "This is the title that I never lost"? I feel like he always has that out there.
Yeah, it was that he lost to Roman, and like I said, he did eventually fight Brock Lesnar. I believe it was at a Royal Rumble.
Yes, that's right.
About 2 years ago. So, I mean, he's had his championship matches since. The thing is, if John Cena's actually going to get this championship match at SummerSlam, and we all believe he will, it's got to be Roman that is the one that grants it, because I don't think they're going to involve Postman Pierce here and start that whole thing up again. When I know, Postman, what are you doing? I lay the rules here. Like, you don't get to pick my opponent. I don't want to go back to that. So right. I think John has got to do something to piss Roman off to the point where Roman's like, all right, I got to kick this guy's ass. Let's do it at SummerSlam.
Well, when will it happen? Will it be at SmackDown this week? Will it be? Maybe it'll be because John Cena's on Raw tonight and he's doing the house shows and everything. I think they're getting some wins. The last house show report I saw was John Cena and the Mysterios with a win over the Bloodline. So maybe there'll be some of that stuff going on. So.
I think Cena's just got to shred him again on the microphone. I said I went back and watched that as soon as I saw Cena approach. I can do this better part-time than you could ever do this. Just some of the things he was saying. You want to blame me for the shovel? I'm blaming you because I have to keep on coming back because you can't do your job. Cena absolutely shredded him. I think he's got to do it again. I think he's got to do something to piss off Roman. But I think it's got to be after the Balor match. I think Balor's going to get a one-on-one. I don't want to say it's going to be a legit one-on-one because I'm sure the Usos are going to get involved, but Balor's going to get screwed out of it. And, there goes Vince burying NXT again.
Well, it's, the way you kind of set this up in the beginning of the show, you talked about how Finn Balor on his first night out essentially qualifies for the Universal Championship. Well, then the story with Finn Balor, the long arc, is he went back to NXT. He's just coming back. He's had one match, and he's already challenging or issuing the challenge for the Universal Championship. So maybe history repeats itself. Maybe it is a three-way at SummerSlam. Maybe Finn Balor pins John Cena, and Finn Balor walks out of SummerSlam with the championship. I know in the intro I called it Summer Slum, but SummerSlam. So
yeah, it'd be like, I think you got to do one-on-one here. I don't know exactly what you do with Finn if you don't put him in the main event. I don't know if you just put him against somebody else that's big. I don't know who else is big enough for Finn right now. You said you can put him, Edge or Raw, but they're fighting each other. We'll talk SummerSlam in a little bit. I don't know where you go with Balor at this point.
Well, let's put a pin in that for a second, and let's talk about SummerSlam. Specifically, Al, you'll be hosting the SummerSlam special, a special podcast, 3 p.m. on August 21st to take us through all of the happenings of SummerSlam before SummerSlam goes on the air so people can understand who we're picking for the matches that night. So at this point, we're just trying to figure out what the matches are. So you have any thoughts?
Yeah, we got a potential card here. I know I kind of mentioned it on Tuesday in the EWP. I'm trying to keep up with it. Maybe a little there's going to be Lashley, Goldberg. That looks like that's going to be confirmed tonight. Roman's, Cena, and Balor. That's that whole mess. We just talked about that. We'll get to that. You got a funny feeling that Sheamus and Damian Priest will be going at it for the U.S. title. Priest has kind of been lurking. I feel like they're setting up that. Drew McIntyre, Jinder Mahal, that looks like it's going to, unfortunately, Heath Slater is out there, the special guest referee. You got eyes on Heath lately? He's been injured for over a year now. I think Slammiversary was 1 year, or Bound for Glory would be 1 year when he got hurt.
Bound for Glory is when he got hurt. He did sign a contract, not in storyline, but he did sign a contract. So I think he's there until he's healthy. I don't know how Impact handles their contract. With WWE, if you get injured, they extend the length of your contract. I don't know if Impact Wrestling does that, but yeah, I don't have yeah.
But yeah, we got 3MB exploding right in front of our eyes. I'm gonna make a small, not so bold prediction here that Sasha Banks is gonna be the one that comes back and challenges Bianca Belair in a WrestleMania rematch. They just won an ESPY for that match, and then if you have a huge stadium at Allegiant Stadium, you got to roll this back with a full crowd. Edge and Seth Rollins, I've been calling that for years now since Edge came back. They're finally going back to the point where Seth Rollins held Edge hostage with his stack of diamonds of a neck to reinstate the authority back in 2014. So that's how long those two have been waiting to get at it. I'm kind of hoping the women's tag titles, I hope that gets stretched out to SummerSlam. Give Tegan Nox and Shotzi Blackheart a huge stage to challenge Natty and Tamina, whether it be on the kickoff show or not. Excuse me, get them in Vegas. I'd love to see that match. There was an Intercontinental Championship thing that kind of stemmed off of Big E's champion celebration bitches. Big E didn't even get the whole thank you out. He got cut off by Apollo, then who was cut off by Nakamura, then it was cut off by Rude and Ziggler, who was cut off by Cesaro, and it turned into a 6-person mosh. And uncharacteristically, I'm just sitting there like, okay, well, this is going to be a 6-man tag match right now, and it wasn't. So whether that 6-man tag match is going to be this Friday on SmackDown or coming up, and it just feels like these 6 guys are on somewhat of a collision course, all hands on deck. One of these mid-card titles has got to be a bleep show. Right. So I kind of feel the Intercontinental title is going to be that, whether it be a ladder match or anything like that. And then, of course, the obvious one, our new Raw Women's Champion, will probably happen tonight. Nikki Ash is going to come out. Eva Marie's going to beeline for her. So there's no reason why Eva Marie can't beat Nikki Ash. Put that in front of 80,000 people and have our new Raw Women's Champion. So there we go with that.
Well, then Becky Lynch cashes in her Money in the Bank to challenge the winner of that match at SummerSlam. Of course, Becky Lynch traded the Raw Women's Championship for the Money in the Bank briefcase a year ago, right? So that was the official trade. Wow. I don't think so, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, right. She'll probably do it on NXT. So she'll do it at Takeover.
There you go. Takeover, of course, main eventing SummerSlam weekend this year. So
yeah, it's gonna say.
All right, Al. Well, we have covered down on SummerSlam. Of course, reminder to people, we have the SummerSlam special on August 21st at 3 p.m. We covered down on SummerSlam. We've talked about Finn Balor. We know John Cena is still going to get the championship match at SummerSlam. We have a whole bunch more stuff to talk about right after this quick break. So stick with us. We got Nick Gage losing the GCW championship to Matt Cardona after the break.
If you love the Daily Wrestling News Show, then I want to tell you how you can support us. First, check out bodyslamclothes.com. You can get a variety of shirts for just $20, and all of them come in the super soft style. And the price you see includes all sizes and shipping. Get 10% off 2 or more shirts with the promo code SHIRTS10. Go to bodyslamclothes.com right now to check it out. And join Joey Jarzenka, Ian Schreier, and Rob DeLuca on Monday nights for the Primetime Rundown. They take you through the world of sports, and the show kicks off each Monday at 7 p.m. on the Eastern Observer. And each Tuesday, Karl hosts the Essential Wrestling Podcast alongside John Smith, myself, John DeConnie, and Gary Mahaffey. It's another week of updates and highlights in the world of wrestling. Here are our analysis on who we think is going to win the week's matches. Coverage begins at 6 p.m. on the Eastern Observer. And Pro Wrestling Pick'em. It's a place where you can join or host a Pick'em League to test your predictive skills in the world of pro wrestling. Create an account and join a league now at ProWrestlingPick'em.com so you can play against your friends or play against the universe. And the Body Slam Brigade newsletter, currently going out to over 4,200 people each Friday. It consolidates all the top stories in professional wrestling into a quick-to-read email written by me for you for free. Sign up now at bodyslambrigade.com. And of course, this show, the Daily Wrestling News Show. We're here every day, Monday through Thursday, and occasionally on Friday. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, or watch us live on Facebook and YouTube at 10 a.m. This is the Daily Wrestling News Show, and we thank you for your support.
All right, Al, we're back. If we just had
music there, Ryan. That's good music. I was gonna time myself in and just do dancing. I don't want to take away from the commercials though. I think I can dance to that whole segment. We can do it.
All right. Well, do.
Yeah, right.
All right. So as well, you know what? It's the headlines portion of the show. So. All right.
Who's a good boy?
As announced or as discussed before we went to break, Matt Cardona, formerly known as Zack Ryder of WWE fame, he won the GCW championship from Nick effin Gage at Homecoming in Atlantic City in your backyard, Al, over the weekend. This was a title change in Jersey. It's a death match. Matt Cardona, not really known at all for death match wrestling. He was a bloody mess, and the fans threw everything they had at him after the match. They threw their water bottles, their beer bottles, everything. It was something I haven't seen since Hogan turned heel, basically. That was the last time I can remember seeing fans throw stuff into the ring after a match, but crazy times.
Yeah, so I don't. There's a lot of ways we can go with this. First, if you want to just address this trash thing, this was because they were pissed, right? This wasn't, Hogan, they were pissed. I think the ECW threw chairs in at Cactus Jack and Terry Funk all those years ago.
Yep.
Al Snow always had heads thrown at him, so it's not like. So, and then I was there at Nassau Coliseum, the last ever Islanders game at the Nassau Coliseum. The Islanders won, and it was a celebration, and it was raining beer on the ice. So it's to each their own. This is, and I guess they're making a shirt because Uncle Dave got a little. This isn't wrestling. This is Dave, whatever's dumbass opinion. But the thing is, it is opinion, and it is everyone. If this is what they want to do, then this is what they're going to do. This is who GCW, that's what ECW was. This is who GCW is. And that's why people like it. So, Dave's just got to, get out of their ass. Like, that's just who they are.
Meltzer was commenting on the fans throwing stuff in the ring afterwards, not the match itself, just for clarification. But
yeah, but that's just whatever. It's like, it's whatever.
Whatever.
It's whatever. It's his opinion. My opinion is Dave's an idiot. So that's really everyone's got an opinion. So there you go.
All right. Well, let's talk here. So Nick Gage has Chris Jericho on national television this week on Wednesday, and this is basically Nick Gage's first appearance on television. He has not wrestled on a big show like this on a Dynamite. I think his stock is lowered a little bit, having lost to Cardona over the weekend. I mean, if he can't beat Matt Cardona, can he beat Chris Jericho? I mean,
well, that's the question. Do you think Chris Jericho can beat Matt Cardona? Because A is greater than B, and B is greater than C, and A is greater than C. So it all depends. This kind of threw a wrench in this whole thing. I don't want to say he gave it away, but if this guy Nick Gage, who I've never seen, okay, I'll admit it, I didn't know who he was up until maybe about a month ago. You mentioned him, I guess. Cardona came out dressed as Moxley, and it was actually Cardona, and that because I guess Moxley and him have had this whole thing. So I never heard of this guy. Apparently, he's insane. He's a modern day New Jack, I guess. I don't know if you want to. Put Gage on that high a pedestal because New Jack is on that pedestal as far as his sanity goes. Can Cardona beat Jericho? It's this whole thing. He sets it up. So unless I don't know. They just just beat themselves.
Well, no. So the booking behind this whole thing is it kind of makes sense, right? So GCW has their champion. There's going to go in. Their champion is going to go on Dynamite national television, and he's going to lose to Chris Jericho. That is unknown. So what do? They have him drop the title over the weekend, so they don't have their champion losing to Chris Jericho. They just have one guy on their roster losing to Chris Jericho. And who knows? Maybe Nick Gage is going to sign a multi-match deal with them so that he can wrestle Moxley on Dynamite or something in a death match. So Or
but who's just hypothetically? Let's just say Gage was champion and he lost to Chris Jericho. Nobody is gonna be like, oh, that was their champion. That company sucks. Okay, so AEW, GCW, Chris Jericho, Nick, like this. There's no. I think that's irrelevant. That if Nick Gage didn't want him to lose as champion to diminish their brand.
It's traditional wrestling booking, though. So I agree with you.
I get it, but there's no harm, no foul if Nick Gage lost to Chris Jericho. No one's gonna look any worse on that promotion or on Nick Gage or on anything.
Well, his fan base might. His fan base.
Well, apparently they get upset and throw stuff in the ring when they get upset. Yeah, when he loses. So if I were Jericho, I'd be full Winnipeg Jets hockey gear going out there.
Well, I'm sure Jericho will have his day with Nick Gage, but I don't think it's going to be, Nick Gage is not going to have a ton of fans in the Dynamite crowd. It's going to be the GCW people that are watching from home, I think, that are going to have opinions.
So my question for you, Ryan, with this title change, okay, Matt Cardona, not exactly sure if he is under Impact contract. I do believe he is. So you have an Impact wrestler walking around with another championship with Kenny Omega lurking in the background. Is this all just so Kenny Omega can get another championship?
That's a really interesting point. It could be. It would be great for GCW if they had Kenny Omega as champion, even for just a minute, especially if they can get Omega to go wrestle a GCW show. What would be more likely, though, is that he would win the title on, say, Impact this, and he'd lose it on AEW that, or something like that. So
right back to Nick Gage.
Right, in a death match on a pay-per-view or something. Yeah, absolutely. Or Moxley, right? If Nick Gage somehow gets it back, and they, because Moxley does work those GCW shows. Cardona, your first question, under contract at Impact. I'd have to check. There was a situation recently where I know he had signed up for a certain number of dates, but he's been at several tapings in a row now, so I think he's probably under contract there.
I think he is too. And the whole feud is Myers. He's like, "Why are you following?" That's their whole feud. Yes. You stop following me. Like you followed me here specifically to tour. So I'm assuming he is too. I don't know, and that's how rumors get started. I know I spread a lot of them. But this one, I'm 9 times out of 10, I'm joking when I spread rumors. So hopefully people don't.
Now, as far as I know, Chelsea Green has not signed.
I heard that one. Yeah, that's
okay. So Matt Cardona aside, with tons to talk about there, it will be really interesting to see what Nick Gage does on Dynamite this week. We have a bunch of other WWE news that just broke over the last weekend. First and foremost, the first pay-per-view of 2022 is going to be on January 1st. From Atlanta. And we have no name for this pay-per-view. I hope you have plenty of caffeine going there, Al. So a full cup now. Okay, good. No name for the pay-per-view, but we know there's going to be one. So it'll be fun, I'm sure.
Yeah, and that's bold going in WCW's backyard, Ryan. I mean, this is a bold move by the WWF. I don't know.
I don't know if
Turner's going to be happy about this. Billionaire Ted.
Yeah. Well, TNT, in fairness, TNT is the home of Dynamite, so there is a little something there, not relevant to WCW. So
no, not relevant.
Jeff Hardy pulled from travel due to a COVID test. So, according to PW Insider, Jeff was going to be facing Karrion Kross again tonight on Raw, but he's not so much anymore because he's got a positive COVID test, so he has to quarantine. So, Karrion Kross will have to wait a few weeks to get his revenge.
Yeah, this is a brilliant move by Vince, keeping everybody killing Karrion Kross. Who's Karrion going to lose to this week now then, right?
Oh, man.
In NXT, you're just going to have Jeff Hardy win anyway. So who beats Karrion Kross this week? Is it going to be, you're going to bring back Spike Dudley? Hurricane? Who beats Karrion Kross?
Let's be realistic. Probably Angel Garza.
Exactly. Drew Gulak is going to tie Karrion Kross into a pretzel. Watch it.
Watch the internet explode if that happens. Walter versus Dragunov 2. Of course, Walter had some sort of hand injury that prevented that match from happening last Thursday, but now it's announced for TakeOver 36 on August 22nd, the main event of SummerSlam weekend. I think we just figured out what it is.
potential. I don't know if you have Joe and Cross, but this is gonna steal the show. Dude, his hand injury is crap. No way. No, the stars aligned and they caught themselves at the last. Walter's fine. I played it off as storyline because they said it. Dragunov jumped him in the back, took out his chopping hand. Yeah, no, this is a perfect setup to have people like, yes, who saw Walter Dragunov won. Yes, this is going to be stateside. This is going to be at NXT. And is this going to be at the Capitol? Has it been announced where NXT TakeOver is going to be yet? I would put that you got to book T-Mobile for this. There has to be some kind of talk with T-Mobile Arena where the Golden Knights play. Get everybody out there. Just go to Vegas, baby. But don't tell me what happens when you go there. I still haven't been there yet. I heard what happens stays there, so I just don't know.
So no, you don't hear any stories. Yeah, I agree. This is the time to pull the trigger on NXT and get them in front of a crowd again. I know that their television show this week, week to week, it's got about 300 people there. That product requires the fans more than the other ones. It's usually a really active crowd, and that type of match. Can you imagine the smack against the chest, and then the crowd just a collective well,
everyone's gonna have in the front row. It's like a splash zone. Like Walter's gonna hit somebody, and everybody in the front row is gonna have a handprint across their chest. It's crazy.
Right, exactly. I think that's how it works. When people say, "Oh my God, I felt that." That's
exactly. It's exactly what it is. And then they look at their chest. What the hell just happened?
Now, Josiah Severance in the chat, he is chiming in with who he thinks is going to be Karrion Kross on Monday Night Raw tonight, and he's calling out Barry Horowitz.
Okay, so that's I like that. I like exactly. Get dirty, Barry. Get in there.
There you go. All right, so some other WWE news. Canyon Ceman let go from WWE. He was the vice president of talent development. A lot of heat was put on him a couple of months ago over the whole garbage bag incident where people had their belongings that sent to them in garbage bags after they'd been released. So I don't know if that's related in any way, but Canyon Ceman no longer with the company.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That was our connection through Gary, so that's unfortunate. That was our kind of inside guy right there. So, oh well.
Okay, and then the other thing, the news just broke about 15 minutes before we came on the air. There's going to be a new limited series called The United States of America versus Vince McMahon, and of course, this just like it reads Vince McMahon, right? United States of America versus Vince McMahon. I think Vince McMahon undefeated against God too at one point. So, this is definitely a Vince McMahon production. And they're partnering with Blumhouse Television. They said they have a dramatic, riveting saga, one that's crazier than fiction that will appeal to the cross-section of Blumhouse and WWE fans. That's from Chris McCumber of Blumhouse Television. To say he's thrilled about collaborating with WWE is an understatement. So there you go.
Yeah, this is, like I said, Viceland's doing all their stuff. A&E's doing all this stuff. Vince, I need to get in on this. Tell my side of the story, damn it.
Oh, man. I am prepared for this to be either really great or very bad. So it's going to be one of those two.
It's usually one of those two. That's a pretty safe bet. That's going to be one of those two.
All right. In New Japan Pro Wrestling, over the weekend, a lot of news broke. Robbie Eagles, the sniper of the skies, he won the junior championship from El Desperado at WrestleGlam's Grand Slam in the Tokyo Dome. Sonata and Naito, they lost the tag titles to Taichi and Sabre, so those titles are just flopping back and forth. And Shingo Takagi got a successful defense against Hiroshi Tanahashi, who was subbing in for Kota Ibushi, who's still not cleared to compete. So that's kind of the result. Also, Chase Owens won the KOPW Provisional Championship in the Battle Royal handcuff elimination match. So Yano, for the first time in the history of the title, Yano is not the champion.
Yeah, hell has officially frozen over in New Japan.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
So
El Desperado, you said El Desperado lost. Excuse me, Ryan. I'm sorry. You said El Desperado lost, right? So the most unoriginal man in wrestling. Who did he rip off during that match?
Who did he rip? I don't understand your joke.
El Desperado. He rips off all the other wrestlers' moves?
No. Well,
Fantasmo. Never mind. Bad joke. Okay, edit that part out. You like to edit me out all the time.
Okay.
I thought it was Fantasmo. So My bad.
Fantasmo. Yeah. Okay, gotcha. El Fantasmo retained the junior tag titles alongside Taiji Ishimori on the same show.
Okay.
There you go.
So who do you rip off?
El Phantasmo in previous matches. New Japan announced the 6-team Super Junior Tag League for next month. That's sort of like a G1 Climax round robin tournament for tag teams in the junior division. So that'll be fun. It's been a long time since they've done that. So it'll be fun. And then the next big card for New Japan is September 5th at the MetLife Dome. Shingo Takagi will be facing Evil on that show. Naito and Sonata are trying to get the tag titles back. They're also going to have Goto and Yoshihashi in that match, so it's a 3-way. Robbie Eagles defends the Junior Championship for the first time against Hiromu Takahashi. Much like Finn Balor in the first segment, that's the title that he never lost. So
yep. And that's the same day as All Out. That's going to be a great day of wrestling, right?
It is of a jam.
Christian Cage beating Kenny Omega, and you got New Japan. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It could be. You think Hangman Page is going to beat Omega? I thought so, but now I just feel like it's coming on too fast, and I think Omega's going to win. So
Christian Cage.
Oh, Christian Cage. Forget
you got your ages. So you got Cage and Brian Cage and Adam Page and Ethan Page and now this effing Gage guy. Like this is crazy. And Diamond Dallas Page.
Let me just clarify for the people watching. Christian Cage is going to be nowhere near that main event.
Here's the thing. All of these Cages and Page, Brian, what did Jericho say? Lazy booking by bad writers. Like, come on, let's get a little more original with these names here. Let's go.
Right. Never mind whether they're your real names or not. In Major League Wrestling, Alexander Hammerstone won the Battle Riot. That's like their version of a Royal Rumble. So he is going to get a title shot against Jacob Fatu. This was the only way he could get one. He's got one. Fatu has had that belt about as long as Nick Aldis has had the NWA title. Really long time. Hammerstone's the guy. So if you want to tune in to see that title change hands, this is your best shot at it. So I don't know when that match is going to be announced, but there you go. And Travis says, just remove their last names for originality. We're talking about the Cages and the Gagers. You know. And we would have Adam, Nick, Ethan, and Christian.
Yeah. We had a side pool going in the EWP, whether Toni Storm was going to lose her first or last name going into SmackDown. It looks like we all lost. It looks like it was a no contest.
All right. Then we had a couple of matches announced for Impact Wrestling's homecoming show at the end of the month. We have W. Morrissey versus Eddie Edwards in a hardcore match. And then you also have Matt Cardona and Chelsea Green. They're going to be in the homecoming tournament along with Rosemary and Crazy Steve. I'm hoping it's King Crazy Steve and Queen Rosemary. I think that'd be great.
Royal Decays. I like it. Yep.
I do. Yeah. And it's interesting. They're doing this hardcore match. Matt Cardona might need to talk to a couple of these guys since he's basically the deathmatch champion right now.
He is. That's
And finally, in the world of all elite wrestling, Emi Sakura bought herself a one-way ticket from Japan to the United States. She has her eyes on Britt Baker. Apparently, she's going to do a tour over here, and it's undetermined at how long it's going to be. So,
yeah, good for her. A lot of these women, the Japanese wrestlers that are very, very good, that AEW has signed for their female division, they got stuck overseas for the past 20 months. So, yeah, they had that small tournament, and we remember their names now. And now the Magical Girl's back. Now Emi Sakura's going to be coming back. The Miz is probably floating around somewhere as well. AEW's version of The Miz, Ryu Mizunami. Yeah, get these women back. That's just – I mean, there's no room for them, but, yeah, get these women back.
It's a good infusion, though, because, like, you know, Shida had the belt for so long. She actually defended against most of the people that we just mentioned. But we have a new champion now who needs challengers. And, yes, there's some stateside that she could wrestle. You know, she beat Nyla Rose last week, so now – the pool needs to be kind of replenished. So,
yeah.
All right, John chiming in. John Smith, is Punk actually going to AEW? He's seen so many reports, but nothing official. Okay, so that was last Thursday's show where we talked about this in detail. Let me give you the lowdown quickly on CM Punk. It was Fightful that reported that CM Punk was in conversations to return to wrestling, with All Elite Wrestling being the most likely candidate. There is nothing official out there at the moment. It seems likely at this point, and it seems like all the stars are aligning since they're going to do 3 dates in Chicago, and we know Punk doesn't really like to leave Chicago. So if he's going to make a return to wrestling, it's probably there, but we don't have anything official. And only Fightful has that thing where they've confirmed that he was in conversations. There's nothing that said that he's confirmed to sign a contract or anything like that. Omega did talk with Dave Meltzer over the weekend in a long-form interview that you can get on the Wrestling Observer's website. And Omega talked about how excited he would be to wrestle both Daniel Bryan and CM Punk. But Omega said the only person who knows the answer to these questions is Tony Khan. He's like, they keep us in the dark. So on those type of things. So whether that was him trying to just get away from the question, or if it was him just, trying to spin it, or whether it's the truth, I don't know. But there's nothing official.
As an executive vice president, I'm sure he knows. Like, let's be fair here. I can't imagine that the Bucks and Cody, as high as they are up in that company, they don't know. You got to deflect it. Kenny did the right thing. You got to deflect it. It's kind of like asking a Marvel superhero about what about your movie coming up? Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
So you have to do that. But, Kenny Omega sat down with Dave Meltzer. Now it begs the question, how big of an erection did Dave Meltzer have doing that interview? Like, how many stars was Meltzer's erection interviewing Kenny Omega? He had to have been in all of his glory right there.
It was the third interview that I think they've done in the last 2 years with Kenny Omega.
Wow.
And yeah, they talked about how great Kenny Omega is as an interview.
Yeah, I'm sure. Kenny, just how great are you? Kenny,
all right. Let's move on to Raw tonight, because I just want to run down the lineup real quick before we get out of here. Nikki Ash ushers in the Raw Women's title reign. Bobby Lashley is supposed to respond to Bill Goldberg. AJ Styles and Omos are defending against the Viking Raiders. John Cena will be in the house. By the way, I believe it's Bobby Lashley versus Bill Goldberg versus Daniel Bryan, right? That's the main event.
I think Daniel Bryan, he's going to come back. Yes.
Yeah,
he doesn't work there anymore, but he'll be in the match. You better be careful, right? Because if you put that match, everyone's thinking Cena and Roman's going to main event, possibly with Balor. You have a fatal 4-way in that main event if Daniel Bryan's not successful against Lashley and Goldberg. You can have a fatal 4-way with Daniel Bryan against Roman Reigns, Finn Balor, and John Cena. Yeah,
and All Out's going to be Kenny Omega versus Hangman Page versus Christian Cage versus Daniel Bryan.
Exactly.
So
100%.
The joke here is that Daniel Bryan wedged his way into the WrestleMania. We're just pulling the strings of that joke, and we're just going to play it out forever now. So,
and then, he's going to be like the anti-belt collector. He's going to be in every championship match but win nothing. It's going to be.
All right. Let's be honest. We would not mind Daniel Bryan in any of these matches, although none of that's real. So, no. Anything in the world of wrestling we didn't cover down on this morning?
Yeah, I got a quick question. Reports flying around this weekend as our rumors get started. The Rock coming to Survivor Series?
Ooh, so this came out. I want to say this was a comment again that Dave made kind of in passing, that the plans were to have The Rock return at Survivor Series time frame. And I believe I've heard this from multiple sources at this point, that's a possibility. But Rock's a busy guy, so until it happens, I don't think we can say that it's set in stone.
All right, there you go. That's the only thing I saw. Look at Rocky. All right. Not sure what you're going to do with him at Survivor Series. I don't think he would wrestle. I think he would just show up, because it's like you got to save. You got to, Roman. Like I said, I got Roman winning until he faces Rocky. To tell you the truth, and he might even beat Rocky the first time. I got Rock and Roman going 2 WrestleManias in a row, where Rocky finally beats him in Hollywood at WrestleMania 38 or 39. This year's 38, right? So I got this whole thing going for a long time.
Yeah, I think those are safe predictions, and I believe if The Rock were to show up at Survivor Series, it would be in fact to set up a WrestleMania match, and nothing really before that. So
it would be like what John Cena did. I don't think they're going to do it the exact same way.
Yeah.
Well, Rocky just comes down and it's a stare down, and that's how you end the show. Or maybe rock bottom, get the people's. You got to do the people's elbow. Yeah, you got that. Yeah, Roman's going to take a beating.
Internet will explode in that moment as well. So
yeah, they did. Yeah.
All right. Anything else, Al, or did we get it now?
Not that I know of. Christian Cage, AEW champion, Eva Marie, Raw Women's champion. Hey, we got a whole bunch of stuff to look forward to, Ryan. I'm looking forward to it, pal.
I mean, you made all those comments about Dave Meltzer's erections, and
yeah, exactly.
Talking about what's going on with you over there. Anyway, I don't know how we got onto that subject. I'm glad we're getting
I
off
wasn't
of
the one talking about missionary position on SmackDown, all right? That was not me.
All right. For Al, I'm Ryan. We'll see you next time. Do, 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 do.